Another epic showdown is heating up now. The massive Warwelt castle rises, showing off Silburn at its peak as Yhwach rallies his elite Schutzstaffel. The lineup? Lille Barro, Gerard Valkyrie, Pernita Parnkias, Askin Nak Lavar, and Uryu Ishida. Each one shows off their Quincy cross in their own style, calm, smug, or mysterious. Yhwach gives them a chilling mission: welcome the Shinigami invaders with a bloody toast to the new world. In a flash, the Schutzstaffel are teleported to their battle stations, ready to face their foes. Meanwhile, down below, Urahara marvels at the colossal castle, and Shunsui dryly notes its over-the-top flex of power. But there's no time to stand around. Shunsui rallies the captains and lieutenants, while Bazb and his crew officially split from the Shinigami, choosing their own path. Elsewhere, Ichigo and his squad, Orihime, Chad, Ganju Nel, and Grimjo, gear up to storm the castle. Ichigo's all in, though Grimjo, true to form, hesitates before tailing behind. Urahara, always observant, notices someone's missing, Mayuri. The mad scientist has his own plans, slipping through another gate with Nemu, delighted to ditch the crowd. Mayuri is hyped to test his research without any interruptions, but then Captain Kenpachi Zaraki strolls in behind him and agrees. Mayuri's confused, so Kenpachi explains he was in the bathroom when everyone left. Hanataro, barely standing, agrees, but he's regretting his own timing. While Hanataro whines about the situation, Kenpachi's pumped to fight without worrying about hitting allies. Mayuri's all for taking out some pests now that they're alone. They glare at each other while Hanataro keeps whining, with Ikaku and Yumichika joking around and asking Mayuri's deputy Nemu what she thinks. Nemu tells Hanataro she feels nothing as Kenpachi, Ikaku, Yumichika, and Hanataro take off, with Mayuri and Nemu hot on their heels. Meanwhile, Ichigo's group is running through the streets, and Orihime wants to meet up with Rukia and Renji, but Ichigo reminds her they can't contact them. They'll have to fight solo for now. Sato says they'll probably meet up with the Shinigamis since they're chasing the same enemy. Grimjo, though, scoffs and dashes ahead, saying more people just slow them down. Ichigo notices Askin ahead, but before they can react, Grimjo jumps at the Quincy, wrecking a building with his landing. Elsewhere, Gerard's alone, daring anyone to attack him. On a different platform, Bazb, Liltado, and Giselle spot Silburn in the distance, and Bazb swears revenge on Yhwach and Hashwalth. Back in the street, Grimjo casually announces one enemy down. Grimjo is pissed when Ichigo questions why he's charging in solo. Before he can snap back, Askin pops out of the rubble, unharmed, and bolts. Ichigo is confused, but Grimjo tells him to shut it and chases after Askin. Askin shouts he'll stop running only if Grimjo promises not to kill him, but Grimjo casually says Askin will die if he's too weak anyway. Not exactly comforting. Askin explains he's more into sneaky tactics than head-on fights. While running, he asks who Grimjo is since he wasn't with Ichigo's group earlier. Grimjo introduces himself as Ichigo's enemy, and when Askin suggests teaming up to kill Ichigo, Grimjo tells him to shut up and prepares to fight, activating his Pantera powers for a speed boost. Grimjo closes in, leaving Ichigo and the others far behind. Exhausted, Ichigo tells his friends to split up and search for them. Meanwhile, Askin takes a breather on a rooftop, thinking he's safe, but Grimjo shows up again. Panicked, Askin runs, throwing a gift ball behind him. Grimjo slices through it, thinking it's nothing, but the ball explodes, releasing poison. Grimjo stumbles, spins, and collapses as Askin mocks him, calling it a lesson about accepting gifts from strangers. Elsewhere, Lille snipes Shuhei Hisagi from a distance. Using his spirit weapon, he takes advantage of the group's fatigue and injuries, piercing Hisagi's chest and arms. The others stop in shock, realizing things just got way more dangerous. Mareshio and Kiyone rush back to help Hisagi, but things go south fast. Lille strikes, shooting Mareshio in the shoulder and putting a hole through Kiyone's chest. Shunsui quickly realizes Lille's targeting everyone and orders the group to split up. Despite this, Isene and Sentaro run back to help the wounded and get taken out too. Chaos unfolds as the captains scatter among the buildings, with Lille mocking their escape attempts. Meanwhile, Renji runs into Uryu Ishida, who's firing arrows like a boss from another street. Renji deflects the arrows with his Zanpato and leaps up to confront Uryu. Things heat up fast. Uryu fires a shot that narrowly misses Renji, leaving a scratch on his cheek. Renji grins, throws some sarcasm about Uryu's new cape, and questions his motives. Uryu declares that the Shinigami are doomed because Yhwach now has the Soul King's power and is building a new Quincy world. Renji, unimpressed, asks if Uryu's seen Ichigo. Uryu admits he tried to kill Ichigo and plans to finish the job. That's all Renji needs to hear. He charges, vowing to crush both Yhwach and the castle. Renji kicks things off with his Bankai Zezeka, slashing his arm to launch a blade at Uryu. The hit causes a massive explosion, sending Uryu flying, even though he blocks it. Renji isn't done though. He follows up with Orochio, smashing Uryu into a spire. Uryu tries to fight back with a Heilig fail, but Renji casually deflects it with his foot and jumps to a windowsill. Renji keeps it simple, attaching his blade to his bone tail, heating it up, and throwing it at Uryu. Uryu tries to stop it with another Heilig file, but is shocked when the blade cuts through it without slowing down. He barely dodges it, watching as the blade destroys buildings behind him. Uryu retaliates with Lichtregan, raining Heilig file down on Renji, who defends with his Hihyo shield. Despite a few scratches, Renji isn't phased and wipes out Uryu's attack with a swipe, sending him flying with a shockwave. Not letting up, Renji uses his snake-like blade to slam Uryu into the ground, pinning him to a building with a devastating punch. Then Renji leaps into the air, finishing Uryu off with a powerful stab and a huge explosion from his So Zabimaru. But when the smoke clears, Uryu stands unharmed, having used Blutveen to protect himself. Uryu then activates his Quincy Volstendig, summoning wings and unleashing a massive Heilig Feel attack. Renji barely manages to deflect it with Zezeka, but the fight is far from over. Uryu's Heilig Fail shoots past Renji and blasts a hole in a nearby building, making Renji curse. He tries to charge at Uryu, but Uryu stops him with a barrage of deadly flechette-shaped arrows. Renji shields himself with Hihyo and performs the Vitarka Mudra, but the attack rips through Hihyo, leaving only its arm bones. Overwhelmed, Renji is knocked back, but as Uryu approaches, Renji activates Hihi Tensho, summoning giant Hihyo arms to trap Uryu. With Uryu barely able to see through the gaps, Renji stands up, saying this will hold Uryu for now. He reveals he needs 20 seconds for his next move and starts charging his Reiatsu. Flashback. A tired Renji kneels before Ichibe Hyosube, who tells him he's getting the hang of his Bankai but needs more Reiatsu to truly control it. Back in the present, Renji unleashes So Zabimaru, using its flaming bone tail like a flail to launch a massive explosion at Uryu, destroying dozens of buildings. Meanwhile, Kenpachi and Mayuri watch the explosion. Kenpachi finds the fight interesting, but Mayuri doesn't care about the Reiatsu clash, calling it a pointless battle. He suggests they should reach the throne room before anyone else, frustrating Kenpachi. Askin stands over Grimmjow, reminding him of his offer to team up and take down Ichigo, which could have saved Grimmjow's life. But Grimmjow vows to kill both him and Ichigo, and Askin admits he might have spared him if only Grimmjow had begged. Just then, Ichigo steps in, Zangetsu in hand, ready to fight. Meanwhile, Renji finds Uryu in the middle of a crater, badly burned. He tells Uryu it's nothing personal, but Uryu's not done. He activates Sklaverai, absorbs Reishi, and powers up with his Quincy Volstendig, reloading his outfit and adding gauntlets. Uryu then creates hundreds of Heilig File and traps Renji in a pentagram of electrified rods, draining his Reiatsu. With Renji in agony, Uryu explains that his Fetterzwinger will strip him of everything, his power, his essence. Just when Renji's about to lose everything, Fetterzwinger explodes, leaving him weakened, his Zanpato sealed. Uryu coldly declares Renji's Bankai is finished. But Renji isn't done yet. He mocks Uryu's understanding of Bankai, and his Zanpato, Hihyo, takes shape, revealing its skeletal form. Uryu, unimpressed, targets Renji with a Heilig Fail just as Renji fires his Hikotsu Taiho. The blast is absorbed, and Uryu's shot punches through Renji's chest. As Renji falls, Uryu steps up, saying Renji lost because he was holding back, didn't know Uryu's true power, and he's just a Shinigami Uryu despises. Damn. That's cold, bro. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next episodes, and subscribe for more videos.